Greetings from Mission Control Houston and welcome to Space Station Live. On board today, a lot of biological experiments taking place, starting off with NASA astronaut Mike Hopkins, who immediately upon waking up today collected a number of vital signs that he'll be doing periodically throughout his increment on board the station, taking his blood pressure and temperature. Aside from that, he'll be spending a lot of time today inside one of the station airlocks doing some maintenance on two of the station extravehicular mobility units, or EMUs, that all U.S.-based spacewalking astronauts use, the large white suits you can see there. Today, Hopkins is responsible for scrubbing maintenance, clearing out the cooling water loops in two of the EMU suits and also inside of the airlock. Aside from that, he'll also be doing some familiarization work with the spacesuits and tag up with some ground experts a little bit later in the afternoon as he prepares to do some more maintenance activities tomorrow on these spacesuits. Moving on, Luca Parmitano from the European Space Agency, upon wake up this morning, taking some saliva samples for the Human Research Facility on board the International Space Station. He was also using some devices on board to measure the internal pressure of his own eyes, and also performing the Skin B experiment, which taking place on board station, hoping to contribute to a better understanding of skin aging mechanisms, which are so slow down here on Earth. It's pretty much impossible to study them very efficiently, but in that microgravity environment, it's accelerated a great deal. So. Just one of, again, many biological experiments taking place on board the station. Parmitano also responsible for setting up some samples for the binary colloidal alloy test, continuing some work that he did yesterday, that studying nanoscale particles dispersed in liquids in a process known as colloidal suspension. Meanwhile, NASA astronaut Nyberg this morning also taking some biological samples. She was taking some blood samples for the NASA's vascular experiment, which looks to determine the impact of long durations of time spent in space and the effect that it has on these astronauts' blood vessels, and also hoping to develop any necessary countermeasures to countermand any of those negative effects. Aside from that, Nyberg doing some troubleshooting work with the station's fundoscope, a device found down here on the ground. You could find it in your eye doctor's office. It's used for any eye exams and also used to determine retina health inside of these astronauts. A little bit earlier, she also fixed a portable electrocardiogram and a number of electrodes to herself for a 24-hour health monitoring session. She'll also be joining Mike Hopkins in that EMU review, as she'll be assisting in taking part in all of that repair and replacement work that'll be happening on those suits tomorrow. Over on the Russian side of the house, Commander Fyodor Yurchikhin also doing a biological study, studying the veins in the lower extremities, in an ongoing Russian experiment that he'll do a number of readings throughout his increment on board. Also continuing some work that he started yesterday on some preventative maintenance and the ventilation systems inside of the Russian Zvezda service module. Fellow Russian cosmonaut Oleg Kotov taking some blood and saliva samples for the human research side over on the Russian segment. Also doing a lot of spacesuit work today as he continues to configure his Orlan spacesuit and all the tools for his upcoming EVA on November 9th, which will see two Russian cosmonauts, Oleg Kotov and Sergei Ryazanskiy, step outside of station airlocks. Ryazanskiy doing a lot of those same EVA or spacewalk preparations today as Kotov, also taking some time today to participate in the Russian Signer experiment, doing some observations of various parts of the world oceans, an ongoing Russian research study trying to locate and identify bioproductive water areas across the globe. Aside from all of this work, the crew yesterday saw the Cygnus vehicle depart. That vehicle, the unmanned cargo craft, completing its final deorbit burns this morning and descending through the Earth's atmosphere for eventual burn up and destruction. Again, that final deorbit burn will come a little bit later this afternoon at 12:41 p.m. Central Time. bringing a final end to Orbital Sciences Cygnus's first mission to the International Space Station.